The galaxy had given up on Earth. All the great powers of space looked away, believing Earth was lost and weak. They said Earth was a small, fragile planet not worth saving. Many worlds had faced danger before, but Earth was different. It was the last planet left in the distant corner of the galaxy, and no one thought it could fight back. The stars seemed to shine dimmer for Earth. For many years, humans lived in peace on their blue planet. They dreamed, worked, and grew there, cities higher. But far away in the dark space, danger was growing fast. A powerful alien force moved through the galaxy like a storm. Their warships were strong and many, crushing everything in their path. Planets fell, their people were lost, and the galaxy's great fleet seemed powerless to stop them. Earth was next. The news of the approaching enemy caused fear on Earth. Leaders gathered in secret rooms, talking fast and in low voices. The people did not know what was coming, but they could feel the fear in the air. Many thought Earth had no chance. The galaxy's strongest allies had already turned their backs. No help was coming, but deep underground, hidden from the world, a different story was unfolding. Earth's greatest minds were working night and day. They were building something no one expected, a fleet of warships so powerful and advanced that it could challenge the alien enemy. This fleet was a secret. Only a few trusted people knew about it. It was called the Earth's Ultimate Fleet. The fleet was not just a group of ships. It was hope. The ships were faster, stronger, and smarter than anything seen before. They had weapons that could blast enemy ships from far away, and shields that could stop the fiercest attacks. The builders worked carefully and fast. They knew time was short. Among the engineers and commanders was Captain Arya Kane. She was young but brave, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Arya had trained her whole life for this moment. She believed in Earth and in the power of its people. She spent many nights walking through the cold halls of the shipyards, checking every detail. Every ship needed to be perfect. Failure was not an option. But even with hope growing, the fear did not leave the people. Rumors spread about spies on Earth. Could the enemy have secret helpers inside? No one knew for sure. But the feeling of danger was strong. Earth's leaders kept their secrets close. They did not trust easily. One cold night, as stars shone bright above, a strange message reached Earth. It was a call for help from a small alien world attacked by the same enemy. The galaxy had ignored their cries. Many believed Earth would soon face the same fate. But the leaders of Earth made a choice. They would answer the call. This was the moment the galaxy did not expect. Earth's fleet, still hidden and growing, was ready to step out into the stars. The first ships left quietly in the dark, flying past the borders no one thought Earth would cross. They carried the hopes and dreams of every person on the planet. Captain. Arya stood on the bridge of the flagship, her heart pounding. She looked out at the endless stars and thought about what lay ahead. The enemy was strong and many battles were coming, but Earth was no longer alone. Its mighty fleet was ready to fight. The first battle was near. The alien warships were close, their dark shapes moving fast toward Earth's allies. The small, alien world's call for help was loud now, and Earth's fleet raced to answer it. The galaxy watched in silence, surprised by Earth's courage. When the two fleets met, the battle was fierce. Lasers cut through the cold space. Explosions lit the darkness like stars bursting. Earth's ships moved with speed and skill. Captain. Arya gave orders with calm voice, guiding her fleet through the chaos. The enemy was surprised by the power and strategy of Earth's fighters. But the fight was hard. Many ships were hit. Some friends were lost. The pain of battle was new for Earth's people. They had never seen such destruction before. Still, they did not give up. They fought with heart and hope. During the battle, a strange new weapon was used. Earth's secret weapon. It was a powerful beam that could destroy enemy ships from far away. The enemy had never seen anything like it. It changed the fight. Slowly, Earth's fleet began pushing the enemy back. The galaxy began to whisper about Earth again. Maybe Earth was not weak. Maybe Earth could survive. Maybe Earth could win. But even with the hope, the danger grew. The enemy sent more ships, larger and more deadly. The battle was only the beginning. Earth's fleet needed to grow stronger and faster. The fight for the future of Earth had just started. Captain Arya knew that. She looked again at the stars, thinking of all the people counting on her. Earth's mighty fleet was not just fighting for itself. It was fighting for every man, woman, and child on the blue planet. It was fighting for the chance to live and grow in the galaxy. The galaxy had given up on Earth, but Earth's fleet had answered the call. The story of Earth's fight had just begun. The enemy was getting closer every day. Earth's sky was no longer calm and blue. Ships from faraway worlds moved through the dark space, heading toward Earth's borders. The people on Earth watched, the stars nervously. Every night brought the same question. Would the fleet arrive in time? Captain Arya Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship. She looked out through the wide glass windows at the endless stars. Her heart was heavy with worry. The fleet was strong, but the enemy was many. Every commander knew that this fight was unlike anything they had faced before. Earth's fleet was still small compared to the vast alien armada. The warships they had built were fast and clever, but could they hold against such numbers? The answer was not clear. What gave them hope was their secret weapon, the one no one in the galaxy had ever seen. But even that was not enough to be sure of victory. Suddenly, the communication screen flashed. A message appeared from a small outpost near the border. The outpost was the first line of defense. They sent a warning. Strange ships were moving toward Earth's allies. They needed help immediately. Captain Arya's voice was calm but firm. Prepare the fleet to move out. We cannot wait any longer. Her crew worked quickly, their hands steady despite the tension in the air. Everyone knew this was the moment they had been preparing for. As the fleet moved out from Earth's orbit, a quiet feeling spread through the crew. It was a mix of fear and hope. They were leaving the safety of their home, flying into unknown danger. But they were not alone anymore. The fleet moved like one, a shining group of stars in the black sky. In the silence of space, every sound was important. The hum of engines, the beep of radar, the soft voices of the crew, all told the story of a fight about to begin. Captain Arya watched the radar carefully. The enemy was close, and their movements were fast. The first meeting was not what anyone expected. The enemy ships did not rush to attack. Instead, they waited, surrounding Earth's fleet slowly, trying to trap them. It was a game of patience and strategy. Earth's commanders talked quietly, planning their next move. Then, without warning, the enemy sent a small group of ships forward. They tested Earth's defenses, looking for weaknesses. Earth's fleet responded quickly, moving in formation, blocking every path. The battle had begun. The stars around them lit up, but there was no loud noise. The fighting was silent but fierce. Ships moved like dancers in a dangerous space dance. Captain Arya gave her orders clearly. Focus on defense, protect the smaller ships. The enemy's small group pulled back, but they had learned much. The larger ships now moved in, trying to surround Earth's fleet completely. The tension grew. The crews felt it in their bones. This fight was bigger than they had thought. Suddenly, one of Earth's ships was hit. It was not destroyed, but it was damaged badly. The crew inside worked fast to keep it alive. Captain Arya knew that every ship was precious. Losing even one could change everything. As the battle stretched on, Earth's secret weapon was ready to be used again. The commanders discussed carefully. Using it too soon might waste its power. Waiting too long could mean losing the chance to save the fleet. Finally, the order came. The secret weapon fired. A beam of light so bright it lit the dark space around them. The enemy ship slowed and changed course. They did not expect such power. For a moment, hope rose in the hearts of Earth's fleet. But the enemy was clever. They began to change their tactics, sending fast ships to try to break through Earth's lines. The fight was a test of skill and patience. Captain Arya stayed calm, guiding her fleet with steady hands. As the battle continued, messages came from Earth itself. People watched the stars, waiting for news. Families gathered around screens, holding their breath. The fate of the planet felt tied to every moment in space. Captain Arya thought about the people waiting below. They were fighting not just for survival, but for a future where children could grow up without fear. Every command she gave was for them. The enemy retreated slowly, but it was clear they would not give up. The battle was just the first move in a larger war. Earth's fleet had shown it could fight. The galaxy was watching closely now. The fleet returned to Earth's orbit to repair and prepare. Captain Arya stood once more looking at the stars. The journey was long and the fight was far from over. But Earth's fleet had taken a stand. The message was clear. Even when the galaxy had given up on Earth, Earth would never give up on itself. The stars outside the window of the flagship seemed calm, but inside the tension was growing. The first battle had shown Earth's fleet that the enemy was strong and clever. The commanders knew the fight would be long and difficult. Captain Arya Kane stood quietly, thinking about the next step. The fleet had lost some ships in the battle, but they had also learned valuable lessons. Every commander shared stories of how their crew worked together, how they saved each other, and how they refused to give up. The people of Earth were watching and hoping. The future depended on their strength. In the silence after the fight, Earth's scientists revealed a new discovery. They had developed a special device, something no one had seen before. It was designed to protect the fleet in a new way, creating a shield that could cover many ships at once. This shield was a promise of safety in the dangerous space ahead. Captain Arya studied the device carefully. It was still new and untested in battle. Would it work when they needed it most? The fleet was eager to try it, but cautious. One mistake could cost them dearly. As the fleet prepared to move again, a message arrived from Earth. The people were sending support in every way they could. Supplies, messages of hope, and even new volunteers ready to join the fight. The connection between Earth and the fleet was strong. It reminded the commanders why they must keep fighting, but the enemy had not stopped. They were watching the fleet's movements and planning their next attack. The sky seemed peaceful, but danger was near. The enemy sent out smaller groups of ships, testing Earth's defenses once more. These encounters were like puzzles, each side trying to understand the other. Captain Arya led the fleet with careful strategy. She listened to every report, asked questions, and made decisions based on what was best for her people. The crews trusted her calm strength. They knew she believed in their mission. One day, a strange signal came from deep space. It was a call for help from another small world, also under threat. This world had valuable knowledge and resources that could help Earth's fleet grow stronger. The fleet had to decide quickly. Should they risk going to help or stay to protect Earth? The decision was difficult. Going to help meant facing more danger, but ignoring the call could mean losing an important ally. Captain Arya called her commanders together. They talked long into the night, weighing every choice. Finally, the decision was made. The fleet would move to help the small world. It was a bold move, but it showed the spirit of Earth's people. They would not hide behind walls or run from danger. They would stand with others who needed them. As the fleet traveled through space toward the small world, the crews prepared for what might come. They trained, repaired their ships, and talked about their hopes and fears. The bond between them grew stronger. They were no longer just soldiers. They were a family. When they reached the small world, the scene was quiet but serious. The people there welcomed Earth's fleet with relief. They shared their knowledge and resources willingly. Together, they made plans to protect their homes and fight the common enemy. But peace was short-lived. The enemy soon discovered the fleet's new location. They sent a large group of ships to attack, hoping to catch Earth's fleet by surprise. The commanders had little time to prepare. Captain Arya stood ready on the bridge. Her voice was steady as she gave orders. The crews moved with skill and confidence. The new shield device was activated, glowing softly around the ships. It was the first real test. The enemy ships came closer, but the shield held strong. The enemy tried different ways to break through, but Earth's fleet was prepared. The crews worked together like never before, covering each other and staying alert. The battle lasted longer than anyone expected. It was not just about strength, but about patience, teamwork, and hope. Earth's fleet showed it could stand firm, even when the odds were against them. After the enemy retreated, the fleet returned to the small world to repair and rest. Captain Arya looked out at the stars again. The fight was far from over, but Earth's fleet had grown stronger and closer. They had shown the galaxy that Earth was ready to protect itself and its friends. The people of Earth waited for news with hope in their hearts. They knew the fleet was fighting for their future, and the fleet knew they carried the dreams of every person on their home planet. The galaxy watched quietly, learning that Earth's fight was not just about survival, it was about becoming a force to be respected and feared. The story of Earth's mighty fleet was only just beginning. The fleet had grown stronger, but so had the challenges. Earth's ships were no longer just defenders. They had become symbols of hope and resilience across the galaxy. Captain Arya. Kane understood this weight well. Every decision she made echoed far beyond the stars they sailed through. After their recent victory with the new shield technology, the fleet faced a fresh problem. Supplies were running low and the crew was tired from constant vigilance. Rest was scarce, and repairs took longer under pressure. The commanders gathered in quiet rooms, speaking softly about how to keep their fleet alive and moving. One of the fleet's scouts returned with important news. Far ahead was a hidden system, untouched by the enemy and full of resources Earth's fleet desperately needed. But reaching this system meant passing through a dangerous stretch of space where the enemy's sensors were strongest. The risk was high, but the reward could change everything. Captain Arya looked at her commanders, her face calm but determined. "We must take this path," she said. "Without those resources, we cannot continue. We owe it to our people to try." The fleet prepared carefully for the journey. Ships moved in tight formations and crews trained for any situation. Every person knew the mission's importance, to secure the future of Earth and its allies. As the fleet entered the dangerous zone, tension grew thick. The stars seemed to hold their breath. Enemy sensors soon detected their movement. It was only a matter of time before they would be noticed. True to their fears, enemy ships appeared on the fleet's radar, slowly surrounding them. But this time, Earth's fleet did not panic. They used the knowledge they had gained from earlier battles, moving swiftly and precisely to avoid traps. Captain Arya gave orders to split the fleet into smaller groups, each taking different routes, to confuse the enemy. Communication was tight and clear. Each group knew their role and moved as one. During this tense maneuver, the new shield technology proved its value again. It created strong barriers that protected the fleet's smaller ships as they slipped past enemy lines. The enemy was surprised by Earth's clever tactics. Their attacks became less certain, but the journey was not easy. One of the smaller groups faced a sudden challenge, a natural space phenomenon blocking their path. A field of strange energy swirled around them, interfering with their sensors and engines. They had to find a way through without losing precious time. Captain Arya watched anxiously as messages came in. The crew inside that group worked tirelessly, using every skill and bit of knowledge they had. Slowly, carefully, they guided their ships through the energy field. It was a moment of quiet courage and teamwork. Meanwhile, the rest of the fleet pressed forward. They reached the hidden system at last. It was a quiet place of beauty, rich with minerals, fresh water, and places to repair their ships. The crews cheered softly as they landed and began gathering what they needed. But even in this safe place, the fleet's leaders knew they could not rest for long. The enemy was still out there, watching and waiting. Captain Arya stood on the observation deck, looking at the stars. She thought about Earth, about the families waiting for their heroes to return. The secret weapon, the shield, and the courage of her crew had brought them this far. But the true test was still ahead. The enemy would not give up easily. They would come back stronger. The fleet began planning their next move. They would need new strategies, more alliances, and even greater strength. Earth's story was one of rising from near defeat to becoming a beacon of hope in the dark galaxy. Captain Arya gathered her commanders once more. "We have come far," she said. "But our journey is just beginning. We fight not just for Earth but for all who believe in a future where peace and courage can thrive. The galaxy held its breath as Earth's mighty fleet prepared for the battles yet to come. The fleet had found a brief moment of peace in the hidden system, but that calm was fragile, like glass waiting to break. Captain Arya Kane knew that the enemy was watching closely, waiting for the right moment to strike again. The fleet was not just resting, they were preparing for what was to come. The crews worked day and night, repairing ships, sharing knowledge, and training harder than ever. Every small victory, every repair completed lifted their spirits. They were no longer just defending Earth. They were becoming a force that others could rely on. Allies from distant systems sent messages of support and even offered help. It was a sign that Earth's fight was becoming a symbol for many. One day, a new message arrived, a call for help from a nearby star system. Its people were facing a crisis, trapped by dangerous space storms that disrupted their ships and communication. Without help, they would be isolated and vulnerable to the enemy's plans. Earth's fleet was faced with a choice. Should they risk their own safety to help others again? Captain Arya stood before her commanders. Her voice was calm but filled with conviction. We cannot turn away. This is what we fight for. Not only our home, but the safety of all who stand with us. The fleet prepared to move, this time toward the storm-ridden system. The journey was difficult. The space storms were unlike anything they had encountered. Bright flashes of energy streaked across the sky, and the air around the ships crackled with electric pulses. The storms interfered with the fleet's sensors and communications, forcing the crews to rely on their training and trust in one another. Captain Arya worked closely with her officers, making careful plans to guide the fleet through the storms. Each ship had to move slowly and carefully, avoiding the worst of the energy bursts. The crews felt the weight of the mission. Their goal was clear: reach the trapped system and bring safety to those who needed them. As they entered the heart of the storm, the fleet's new shield technology was pushed to its limits. The glowing shields flickered, bending and shifting to protect the ships. For a moment, the crews held their breath. Then, the shields held strong. It was a sign that their technology was growing stronger along with their courage. Reaching the trapped system, the fleet found the people inside in distress. Their ships were damaged and their communications were weak. The crews of Earth's fleet worked alongside the locals, sharing tools and knowledge. They repaired damaged vessels and helped rebuild the communication networks. It was a race against time. During this time, Captain Arya discovered something unexpected. The storms were not natural. They were being controlled, created by the enemy to trap and weaken anyone who tried to help. It was a new form of challenge, one that required not just strength but intelligence and patience. Working with the scientists and engineers of the trapped system, Earth's fleet developed a plan to break the control of the storms. They designed new devices that could disrupt the energy patterns and open safe paths through the storms. The day came to test the new devices. The fleet and their allies worked together, activating the disruptors. Slowly, the storms began to calm, the energy pulses growing weaker. Ships could move more freely, and communication signals grew stronger. It was a victory not just of technology but of teamwork and hope. The trapped system was free once more, and the people there joined Earth's alliance, ready to stand against the enemy together. Captain Arya looked at the stars, feeling a deep sense of pride. The fleet was no longer just a group of ships. It was a symbol of unity and strength. But she knew the fight was far from over. The enemy was adapting, and Earth's fleet would need to grow even stronger. Messages from Earth's leaders reminded everyone of the stakes. The future of their planet, their families, and the galaxy itself depended on their courage and determination. As the fleet prepared to move forward once again, Captain Arya's voice carried through the ship. We fight not just to survive, but to build a future where fear does not rule. Together we are stronger. Together we will face whatever comes next. The galaxy watched and waited, knowing that Earth's mighty fleet was ready to shine brighter than ever before. The fleet moved forward, carrying hope and courage across the silent vastness of space. Captain Arya Kane stood quietly on the bridge, her eyes tracing the stars ahead. The journey had been long and full of trials, but each challenge had made Earth's fleet stronger, wiser, and more united. Though the fleet had saved the trapped system and gained new allies, the threat from the enemy still loomed. Intelligence reports warned that the enemy was gathering forces for a large-scale move. Earth's commanders knew this could be the final test, a moment that would decide the future of many worlds. As the fleet approached a vital system rich in resources, they sensed the weight of what was to come. This system was key not just for supplies but for its strategic position. Controlling it would mean controlling the balance of power in the region. The fleet's leaders gathered to plan carefully. Captain Arya's voice was steady as she spoke. This is more than a battle for resources. It is a stand for the future. We must protect this system not just for Earth, but for every world that believes in peace and freedom. The crews prepared for the possibility of a long and difficult defense. They trained harder, repaired their ships with care, and shared stories that strengthened their bonds. Each person knew their role was important. Together they were more than a fleet. They were a family. As they settled into the system, Earth's fleet began setting up defenses. The new shield technology was extended to protect key planets and stations. Communication networks were strengthened, and supply lines secured. The feeling of hope grew stronger with each passing day, but the enemy was patient and cunning. They chose not to attack immediately but sent spies in small groups to test the fleet's defenses. Each encounter was tense and filled with uncertainty. The fleet responded with careful strategy, avoiding unnecessary risks while gathering information. 1 day, the enemy's spies tried to sabotage a key supply station. The fleet's security teams acted quickly, capturing the intruders without harm. The incident reminded everyone how fragile peace could be and how important vigilance was. Captain Arya called a meeting with her commanders. Our strength comes from our unity and our courage, she said. We must be ready for anything, but we must also protect the values that make us strong. The crews continued their work, never losing sight of their mission. News from Earth encouraged them, reminding them of the people who believed in their fight. Then came the moment everyone had prepared for. The enemy launched their large-scale move, sending waves of ships to challenge Earth's fleet and its allies. But this time, the fleet was ready. Using every tactic they had learned, the fleet worked as one. The shield technology protected their ships and planets. Communication was clear and every commander knew their part. The battle was not about destruction but about standing firm and protecting what they loved. The fight lasted for many hours, but Earth's fleet did not falter. The crews showed patience, courage, and skill. Slowly, the enemy's forces began to retreat, unable to break the fleet's defense. When the last enemy ship withdrew, the fleet cheered quietly, but with deep pride. They had faced the greatest challenge and held strong. The galaxy took notice. Earth was no longer a planet waiting to be saved. It was a leader, a protector, and a symbol of hope. Captain Arya looked at her crew with respect. We have come far and our journey continues, she said softly. This victory is for all who believe in a better future. The fleet set course for Earth, carrying with them stories of courage and unity. The people of Earth awaited their heroes with open hearts. The galaxy had changed, and Earth's mighty fleet was at the heart of that change. The story was not over, but this chapter showed the power of hope, teamwork, and never giving up, even when the stars seemed dark.